Oakaazdoreyth, Part 3. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into what has been going on since the last post. I apologize in advance if I seem rushed or incoherent. Sleep is not coming as easy since this has all started. Also, one last thing before I jump into it. I have seen a few comments here and there that some are looking to download this mod. All I can say is simply do not. I can promise, nothing good will come out of it. I woke up the following morning extremely tired, having gotten very little sleep the night before. And given what I had seen, it wasn't surprising that my dreams were full of nightmares. I clambered out of bed and walked across the soft, comfy carpet of the bedroom floor. I glanced at my wife's side of the bed and noticed that she must have already gotten up, probably to get the girls on the bus. I made my way to the bathroom and stood over the sink, looking in the mirror. I looked like shit. With a horrible case of bedhead, my sandy brown hair poofed out on one side. I had dark circles around my puffy eyes to the point no shade of blue I knew to be there could be seen. I turned the sink faucet on and let the water run cold for a moment before cupping a handful and splashing it on my face. My eyes were still closed as I reached for my glasses that usually sat on the bathroom sink. When I had firmly fixed them on my face, I opened my eyes and was taken aback when I looked in the mirror. The force from the game was in the mirror, but it didn't seem like computer graphics at all. It looked completely real, and I immediately turned around to see that the force was indeed there. When I turned around again to look in the mirror, my bathroom had completely vanished, leaving me in the middle of this horrid nightmarescape. I began to hear whispering as I spun around, looking in every direction, screaming to the cold air that this isn't real, none of this is real, it can't be. I fell to my hands and knees. I could feel the dirt on the ground between my fingers. The whispering grew louder and louder. When I looked up, I could see through the fog a dark, shadowy figure coming towards me. It wasn't standing up, or not that I could tell, not until it was close enough to the fog, no longer shrouded from its form. It was a person, or it was a person. It was all on all fours, its arms and legs impossibly contorted to the point its limbs looked like they were broken. They sounded like it too. With each step forward, I could hear the awful cracking of its bones. Its head was twisted upside down as it screamed, looking at me. No, through me, with its dark, hollow eyes. I stumbled backwards and tried to shuffle away. I wasn't even able to manage to get myself to my feet. It was too close now to even try. I closed my eyes and felt its bony fingers on my legs. My heart was pounding, and I knew what my fingers felt, the dirt of the forest, that this wasn't a dream, this was real. And it didn't matter because it was over. It was over. I no longer felt the chill of the night air, or the soft ground of the forest floor, or the bony fingers that was just climbing up my legs. I opened my eyes and suddenly, in the floor of my bedroom, the bright of the light of the morning shining through my curtains, basking me in its warm embrace. I had apparently thrown myself out of bed. Usually an occasion saved me from extreme leg cramps. I know some of you know what I mean. The thing I had seen was gone. I heard a voice coming from downstairs. "Everything okay up there? Hun, you okay?" she yelled, sounding concerned. I simply yelled back that I was fine and got up off the floor, taking a moment to make sure I was actually there in my bedroom. Once I was satisfied I was in the real world, I pulled myself together and took a shower, got dressed, and headed downstairs to get some food in my belly. My wife was in the kitchen already fixing something for breakfast. My senses must be dull from sleep because I wasn't able to smell the wonderful food until I hit the last step of the landing. She already fixed me a plate of eggs and bacon with 2 pieces of toast. She even poured me some milk. Chocolate milk, because yes, I may be a man, but I still like my chocolate milk. My wife had fixed her plate and had sat across from me. We usually sat in the living room and watched something, but I suppose where I had sat down at mine first, she simply followed. It was nice sitting at the table for once. As I was eating, I thought about telling her what was going on, why I hadn't had much sleep, and why I had seemed on edge lately. She had gotten up to take her plate to the sink, as I finished my plate as well, and pushed it back. I sat there, still contemplating telling her. I was lost for a moment, thinking about every event that took place. I suppose gathering my thoughts and trying not to sound crazy when I tell her. Before I noticed, she had walked back over to me, bent down to grab my plate, and gave me a kiss. The kiss was a welcome one. I hadn't really known how much I needed something to pull me back to reality in that moment. My eyes were closed, allowing myself to feel her soft lips against mine. It was then I knew telling her was the right thing. She had always been there for me. She was my rock, and I was hers, and if anyone could pull me out of this deep, dark hole, it was her. I felt her lips depart mine, and there was a slight pause before I opened my eyes. Having felt like I was floating, I had noticed that I was stupidly grinning. When I opened my eyes, my grin quickly left me, just as quick as it had gone. I felt all the hope and light I had just gotten back drained from me as well. My wife was looking at me. Her head turned on its side, laying her long brown hair down. Her sweet, soft lips were no longer so. Her mouth hung ajar as if her jaw had just been unhinged, and there was no longer looking at me with deep brown eyes, but instead piercing me with dark, hollow, bottomless pits. I shoved myself back into my seat, and I feel myself slide across the floor a couple of feet as I closed my eyes and held my hands firmly over my ears. Her scream was unbearable. All I could manage to yell was, "Stop! Please just stop! Leave me alone, please!" Not even a second goes by do I feel her hands on my wrist and hear a familiar voice. "What is wrong, baby?" Her voice breaks through me. I look and quickly glance around. I look back into her eyes, brown and full of life. "You need to tell me what's going on?" she continued in her voice, building concern. "Nothing, babe. I'm fine, really." The lie left my mouth before I had a chance to catch it. I was not fine. I am completely losing my mind. Having already told her I was fine, I had completely forgot I was going to tell her what was going on, and decided not to. She can't help with this, and involving her could potentially endanger her. Or it would confirm that I indeed lost my mind in case what? I get sent away to some loony bin? No. Every bit of rational I could think told me I needed to do this alone. So, not feeling great and watching my wife leave for work, I called my boss and told him I wasn't going to be in today. When he asked what was going on, I half thought of telling him the truth. That I downloaded a possessed mod and now I'm seeing crazy shit. And I didn't even feel like coming in and watching people's faces in the office twist and contort and scream all day. I already felt like punching half the people I worked with in the face anyway. I'm just under the weather, Nick. I wouldn't call off if I didn't need to. I'll see you all tomorrow. Hopefully, I can sleep this off. I had no intention of sleeping anything off. I am sick of this fucking thing, and I'm going to figure this out and finish this before it finishes me. Given my current state, that probably wasn't too far off. I closed the curtains in the living room and bolted and locked the door. I silenced my phone and threw it on the couch. I grabbed my controller and my headset and sat down and got comfortable, looking at the TV as the green Xbox One loading screen popped up. Only one thing coursed through my head, and the need to say it out loud overwhelmed me. "You wanna fucking play? Well, let's fucking play."